Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How can you hear me? Sorry for little delay. Today we have a very interesting topic about your strategy. And today I'll talk about main elements for your trading strategy. It doesn't really matter you're an investor or an intraday trader. You need some elements of your strategy, your components. So today topic, main elements of your strategy. I'm a trader Sergey Kolomits. First of all, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. To do this, you should click subscribe below this video, and don't forget to click the bell, and you always be aware of new streams and videos by Streamity. So you can see 10 main companies for, in my opinion. They should be in your strategies. So how create your strategy? You need some options, and I think a few few words for these 10 options. So first of all, in your strategy, you need to realize clear your direction. So you must clearly define the scenario that you're waiting for. And there shouldn't be two opinions. For example, buy and sell in the one situation. For example, yes, you have some daily charts, and in your algorithms, in your strategy, you have two options. First option, if this level, for example, 10,000 for BTC, I will buy if break 10,000, and I will sell if will be false breakout. So it's very difficult for strategy because in one case you have two opinions. It's I think it's a very difficult to your mind, and after this trade, many next trades will be look like the two minds. So you need one clear direction. I'll buy if then. So if break out some resistance, and if after this price won't come back in this area, so etc. etc. So first of all, clear the direction. No buy and sell. So only buy and or only sell. Second, very important component, I think, is the time interval of the work. If you had trade maybe in some global markets like NASDAQ, New York Stock Exchange, probably you know NICE or NASDAQ have some open hours. It's mean it's open and bell in 9:30 a.m. and 6 o'clock p.m. close bell. Yes, of course, we have some pre-market session. I started at 4 o'clock, very early, New York time, and close for market some closed 8 p.m. So very clear, you know, as when the main players usually in the close open time, maybe first 30 minutes, maybe first hour, it's most volatility and most volume plays. So you can have some scenario for your trading and action time. So, but we must understand we can't near the computer all the session. In contrast to the United States market, the cryptocurrency market is open 24 hours and every day. For me, it's some problem with this because you can't, and I think you mustn't be near the computer all the time. So if you are a day trader, in time according to your statistic, you will understand when you conduct the best deals. Of course, using some alerts and maybe some algorithms, you can be more flexible, but for this you still need time to understand how you will successfully trade. Maybe after 1 year, maybe 6 months, you understand and you're very profitable trader in morning hours, maybe in some evening hours. Of course, it's very important the news for cryptocurrency, because if you know approximately time starting for the news, you can observe this cryptocurrency and watched and ready for the action. But of course, it's maybe not convenience, and algorithms and alerts more interesting for this situation. But it's a future action. Next, daily chart. I think it's very extremely important things. So the corresponding situation on the daily chart, a significant level is broken through on the volume. So long-term resistance is observed for several months. For instance, daily chart Bitcoin 2070, very magnificent year. I think it's very important some break up on volume, but of course not any cases. So if you have very interesting situation for daily chart like this station, you can confirm your maybe stop limit by order and waiting for the breakdown 3000. Nowadays maybe it's station near the 7,008 and of course very important target price 10,000. So if your idea have some daily chart, it's very important, because very little time frames like 5 minutes or 15 minutes, I think it's very difficult, and it's some scalp trading, and I think it's very difficult for ordinary trader, because you need some softwares for be successful in very short time frames. I mean, for example, 5 minutes. Like this. But we can see a very interesting situation near 7,475, some range, and break up with some volume. What's next? Very interesting and very important points. It's a corresponding situation on Bitcoin. So we all know about coinmarketcap.com, and every day you can see some numbers of BTC dominances it's now at near 38%. So it's a huge domination, like uh, in stock market. Excuse me. This.com, like Dow Jones Industries. So 30 main company, and this company have some influence for all markets. I think I mean New York Stock Exchange, MX and NASDAQ. In our situation in cryptocurrency market, BTC is very important option, and when you trade some stocks like, I don't know, like Ripple, like Litecoin, not EOS at the moment, so you can see the main dominates cryptocurrency BTC. So let's look the situation like XRP. So we have the same situation, 5-minute charts. ETH, the same situation. Litecoin, EOS, maybe yes, maybe not. But the main cryptocurrency look like BTC. So it's obvious because 78% BTC domination. Next, very important station, I draw the station is target 1. So what this means, I mean clear target 1 is likely minimum for which you will take some risk. So of course when you open a trade, maybe like this situation for breakout, and you think the price will go maybe 1000, for instance, BTC, if breakout 10,000, your next aim, your goal 11,000, for example. But we understand that we can reach this price, and we need some plan for the situation. So when we open a trade, we want to price to rise very high, but you need to understand that this can't happen, and you need to know your first goal. So where you're ready to cover maybe some part of the position or completely cover all position if the market situation changes. So for example, price will grow up and 10,000, maybe 700. Have some range, and after this maybe some bad news for market, and price go up. I think very important, if you have target 1, for example, you can confirm your stop order for this range, and in this situation you trigger your stop order, or maybe you price first price 10,500 is the first target, why not? And you cover maybe 30 or 50% of your position, and your main target 11,000, you cover 30 of 50%. It's more, yes, you gain less money if you not cover some part, but if in this situation you earn money, not lose. So clear target number 1. Of course, your risk, the risk that suits your ability and a particular situation. So remember, we go into the transaction to the volumes that corresponded to our risk. You can't buy one Bitcoin and or BTC, yes, or one Ripple and give a risk only 10 cents. Yes, in XRP it's reasonable, and BTC it's completely bad idea. So in BTC I can buy maybe nil 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 one position. In XRP I can buy 1000 coins for XRP. But if you have a very high risk but very reasonable situation, you can buy maybe some less coins, and I think it's very efficient. Entry. So entry, I mean some entry mechanism. So how you open the position? It's a limit order, it's a market order, or stop limit order. I think in our case, the stop limit it's a very usability order, because if you have some resistance, yes, and maybe price walking through some few weeks, maybe, why not, you can create some stop limit above this level, and your stop price will be maybe a few cent or a few dollar above this resistance, and your limit will be higher. And if you have some breakout, you will take position not worse than this number. So for example, 10,000 our support, yes, you can create some stop limits where stop will be 10,001 and limit 10,000 no 50, for example. And worse than 50 you shouldn't, you haven't to take this situation. Or a limit order or market order. Next point, 8, partial coverage. Possible partial coverage of the position. Under what circumstances will you cover part of the position? It will be your target one. Maybe you have a few targets, your entry points here, target 1, target 2, and your goal here. Yes, some maybe trailing stop for below the 1 hour candle, or maybe 5 or 15 minutes if you day trader. For example, in this situation, BTC 5 minutes. After this, if you have position this, your stop will be maybe 7,449. And now and few minutes ago you cover maybe 50% near the 7,000 and 175, and maybe 30% of 50 position you will have some trailing stop below 15 minutes. So now in this situation we will waiting for when this 15 minutes closed, and you can update your stop order and create near the 7,000 and maybe 571 or 69. Next, comments add to position, so possible end in position. So you need to ask yourself, does your strategy have the option of increasing or add to position? So when the high or low day break out through the first half hour, the stop limit for breaking through the important day range, etc. So for example, the situation, if you have some idea, I mean some maybe some aggressive traders, trader, for example, you buy very little volume in this range, maybe 7,400. In this situation, you add to position for 700 and 7,500, and in this position maybe you cover some position, you left only 50%, and in this situation a few minutes ago you add to your position 7,600. So we can see some volume increased last few hours, and you think maybe it's moved for a few hours, and we can see Bitcoin near the 7,800 because yesterday, yes, we have some resistance in this area. So you think it's this volume, it's a very nice opportunity for add to position. And of course, option 10 is clear exit. So your main goal, the first case, maybe performance trading stop 5 minutes or 1 hour, and significant round number like 10,000, 11,000, so and so on. So clear exit, your goal. So you always need to know what is your goal, because if you I know many situations when trader open position this station and go for your goal, maybe cover some position and not cover position here, and left position all night, and when he or she wake up next morning and they can see price maybe here, it's very disappointed, and I think it's a very good idea cover a position when the price goes up. So on balance, 3 main key indicators that you need to know. First of all, an acceptable time for trades. There's always the most productive, profitable, and most inefficient profitable. So your pros and cons. You know when you gain money, and you know where you lose money. I think it's statistically very easy know, because you have some statement, and you have some information for your mind when I lose money and when I gain money. Second point, after profitable exit but not on target, the stock reach the goal, yes or no? So it means for example, I buy this and maybe cover position this area, and after a few days, maybe after a few hours, cryptocurrency price will go to your goal. So if the situation is constant, it's you think some changes to your plans, change to your strategy. If in this situation you earn money, yes, this moment, and after this situation in maybe above 50% price goes lower, you do very good for this for your algorithm. But if in 50% price goes higher, you need some changes to your strategy. And very interesting point number 3. Okay, in negative trades indicate, did you have the opportunity to take profit if even if it's minimal? What I mean, so for example, your red trade, when you lose money, buy here, price goes up and goes down, and trigger your stop price. For instance, your target number 1 is here. So if in this situation you're very rarely, yes, so no, very usually, yes, you lose the money, but you have maybe 30 minutes, maybe a few hours, and you can see some range, and after the some volume, red volume, yes, price goes down. You look for this, and in the end we have some red day. So if you know that in 50% situation you lose money, you statistically, I mean, you could maybe cover some position, maybe 50 or 70% of your position, and add to your position. For example, in this situation you can cover 30% of your position, your stop loss 30%, and if it's was a false breakout and price go higher, can earn for 30% of your positions, or in this situation add to your position, and of course renew your stop order maybe from here. So it's some game for your volume, it's a game for risk, and this situation it's money management. So it's very briefly, I think it's a very extremely important options for your successful trading, and I think it's very will be useful for you. So guys, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and to do this you should click subscribe below the video, and don't forget to click the bell, and you always be aware of new streams and videos. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I see you on Thursday. See you.